What's up, Team J3? Let's go ahead and get into this spoiler-free review of The Mummy. Directed by Alex Kirkman, starring your boy Mr. Mission Impossible himself, Tom Cruise, and the beautiful and sexy, she's sexy, Sophia Boutella. For those who don't know, I'm a monster fan. I love the monster universe. Been watching it since I was a little kid. My first introduction to the monster universe, I was a little boy, walked to the library with my moms. We went to the VHS aisle, picked up Wolfman. That was my first movie I ever rent, quote unquote, at the library, was Wolfman, and ever since I watched that, I've been hooked ever since. So I was really psyched to see a new reboot of The Mummy. We have quite a few, and quite a few don't work, but quite a few did. So the modern day ones were kind of better than some of the rehash ones back in the early 60s and 70s and stuff like that. But let's get into this review, guys. I'm gonna give you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, the nerdy, all that shit. I'm gonna give you everything. We finna go deep into this film, as deep as I can. I'm gonna squeeze this orange as much. I'm gonna get as much juice out this orange as I can. I'm gonna give you some good. Tom Cruise. In my eyes, personally, you can call me biased, whatever. I like Tom Cruise, man. Tom Cruise is one of my top actors of all time. He could be in bad movies. He can, but he never does bad. You know what I mean? Tom Cruise did his thing. Tom Cruise did what I thought Tom Cruise was gonna do. Be the breath of fresh air in so many scenes. Be the action-packed hero that he has became. But I wanted him to go back to a little essence of Tom Cruise, where it takes a little bit more acting chops, more dramatic scenes to be sold towards the audience. But I don't blame him for that. I blame the story for that. Tom Cruise is that guy, man. He doesn't age. This guy, I don't know what he's doing. Some rituals or something around that house, but that boy is still 25 in my eyes. I'm looking at him like, damn, look at his body. He's on yoke mode. Tom Cruise the man. He did his thing, man. I really enjoy seeing Tom Cruise in this film. I can't wait to see how they're going to really use his character throughout this universe that they have created. Sophia Boutella. I like her. I liked her ever since I seen her in Kingsman Secret Service. She was sexy in there. She was getting the job done there. I saw her in Star Trek. She was in there. She was getting the job done. She was tight. I like Sophia Boutella. Whew, she's sexy. In The Mummy, she was a good mummy. I liked her as the mummy. She fit the early Egyptian style being a mummy, and even, well, she fit the description of an Egyptian woman on point. And then she was the mummy. I loved both versions of her. She was tight in both versions. I believed it. You know what I mean? But there's believing and selling a role. Besides those two, this movie was terrible, guys. Being 100 with you guys, this movie had no story development, no character development. The music, the score was whack. The directing angles were terrible. This was an overall bad film. I'm not being a bully. Don't want to be considered a bully. I'm just telling you the facts and how I see this film. Let's go to the story. The story was all over the place. I can't even break down what the movie was about, really. All I know is Nick, which Tom Cruise character named Nick, was a scavenger, ex-military based dude, something like that, who goes out and finds relics and old artifacts and sends them to sells them on the black market. He finds this old tomb of a mummy. The mummy comes out because he unlocked the mummy. He became her chosen one for some, well, we know the reason, but it was dumb to unlock a darker monster. So that's weak. Imitate, which was Sophia's character, how she became the mummy was weak. It was stupid. It was dumb. It didn't. This when you say you're gonna build a universe, story-wise, when you say you're gonna build a universe, you have to go about it the right way. You can't create 5 movies in one movie. That's where you've gone wrong. You know what I mean? For instance, The Mummy should have been, if you're gonna, when you say you're gonna build a dark universe, in my eyes, my brain, my heart, I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're gonna be doing some League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type stuff where you're gonna team up these monsters to go against a bigger monster. Especially in the trailer, when you hear him say, Kurt Russell says, we need monsters to fight monsters. Okay, so maybe the team of monsters, you should give them a little bit more detail and more character development so we can feel for the monster, so we can be on their side, so we can root for them when that day comes. Instead, we got another Cowboys versus Aliens where it was all over the place for no reason. I hate that, because you had two good actors and actresses together who I thought was on point. I really did. I liked them. I thought, see, Sophia Boutella, she doesn't get a lot of dialogue in her roles, but she gets the job done because she's more of an action visual actress, where what she does matters. Tom Cruise can be dialogue based because he got it, but he also became a action based. So when he does his scenes and stuff, he gets the job done and you feel for him. Just like in Mission Impossible, when he was trying to solve that mission, was it part 3? I forget which one it was, but this is the one with the girl with the eye. Like when he couldn't save her, she was like, and her eye went and she was dead. You felt him because he was able to give you those scenes. None of that in this movie. The story was all over the place. I didn't know if we was in new scene. I don't cut my phone off a minute. But I don't know if we were in, you know, the early European times with the knights, or we was in Egypt, or we was in present time. It was all over the place. They were trying to take styles from The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, bring them into this film, which I respect, but it wasn't done right. At all. It was not done right. Some stuff looked cool, and then some stuff looked corny. Then they try to bring in a comedy factor of bringing that comic relief in Jake Johnson, which he wasn't funny, and he was a waste of space. They were trying to do too much in a little bit of time. This is not a rush universe. You don't have to rush this right now. You're not in a situation where you're in a demand. This is something new, and you could have took your time with that story to develop something better. Kurt Russell's character, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. When you see characters like that, there's a logic to it, by far logic. But then you have to put a little bit of fantasy on it to make it believable, to make you like it, to love it. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde was not needed in this film. Dr. Jekyll, yes. Mr. Hyde, absolutely not. And when they gave it to us, he was terrible. I was embarrassed that I liked this. That's how bad I feel. I was embarrassed sitting in that audience, watching what I like just be done terribly. It was done terribly. It was not cool. It was not a breath of fresh air. It was a waste of time and not needed. I like some of the stuff where they show like the Creature of the Black Lagoon's hand. They've been doing experiments on vampires. You know, this facility of monsters, body forms and mermaids. It's just things that are of this world, but not of this world. You know what I mean? So I like that. But I knew what they were doing with that, and it wasn't cute. It wasn't fun. It was like, man, wow. So, get back on The Mummy. Let's get back on The Mummy. The Mummy did not. Sophia was tight, but the way they wrote her, she was underpowered, underskilled, and a waste of time. Because if you watch her when she was a princess in Egypt, she was skillful. She could fight. She was well educated. She was on a whole nother level. So you telling me when she comes back as a mummy, she just loses all that? She's not tight no more? All she do is just walk sexy? Which she did it well. Man, they had her bound like this, and her thighs and her legs was quite. It get hot up in there, man. I'm telling you. Man, I swear if I was in hot, man. Anyway, but it was cool, but they limit the Mummy. You know what I mean? When you watch The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, that Mummy was not limited. He was only limited in the beginning because he was gaining his powers. But once he got them powers, the boy was on fire. She had full ability and was not doing it. They bound her. They kept her in prison. They treated her like we're gonna do experiments on her and see what makes her tick. What kind of crap is this? That's not a universe that I want to see. That is going in the wrong direction. Terrible. Terrible story. Terrible story. Wasted them characters, man. I'll get on what I would have did. Just a little taste of what I would have did. Next, the directing. Alex Kurtzman, man. This is not the type of movie he needs to be directing. He did a terrible job for the simple fact his eye did not capture the right scenes. And maybe because the story was trash, but sometimes when you direct, you have to capture the right scenes. The fight choreography was terrible. It was cheesy. It was whack. It wasn't hand to hand. I'm fighting for my life. It was, I'm gonna throw you here, break some glass. Weak. Trash. It was a scene in the beginning with Tom Cruise and Jake Johnson. They were running and they had guns and they came through the hallway and it looked so cheesy. It looked weak. It didn't look believable at all. They had like these machine guns, man. It just did not look good. It looked trash. The explosions were weak. They were not necessary. The explosions was not necessary at all. If you want to learn about explosions, just explosion, not the necessity of the explosion, go and talk to Michael Bay about that. He'll give you some explosion tips. These explosions are trash. Didn't like them at all. Weak. Trash. Directing was bad. It was not believable. I couldn't feel for none of the characters. The character development was trash. They threw Dr. Jekyll in there to give us something, and instead it just disappointed the whole world, because seeing what he became lets me know Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, they're gonna be weak. They're gonna be trash. They're gonna try to make this so realistic, it's not gonna be fun. See, the monster universe is supposed to be fun, but suspenseful and horror and thrilling. This movie gave me nothing. It gave me no thrills, no chills, no horror, nothing. It was a waste of time. This movie, I'm keeping 100, guys. This movie gets a D+ from me, because there was parts of it in the story that was okay. I see what that person was trying to do, but the other people were just terrible. Tom Cruise did his thing, and I hate the fact that he's in this movie, and I know that this movie is going to flop, and I know this movie's not gonna make no money. So goodbye to Dark Universe. Hopefully that lawsuit, which is going to get phased out, because I don't think they're going to be coming with nothing else. I think they really dropped the ball with this one, especially starting the first one. This is nothing. I would have never started with something like this. The Mummy's okay, but the way they structured this movie, nah. Terrible beginning, terrible introduction. D+ for me. Sophia did her thing. She's great. Tom Cruise was great. Kurt Russell, waste of time. Jake Johnson, waste of time. Annabelle, I think her name was Wallace. She was beautiful. Them blue eyes. Blue eyes. Baby's got... All right. She's sexy, but not needed. I don't like seeing that Transformer where the girl's all beautiful and she's running for her life and glass is shattering and everything, but she still look good. She didn't have some mud or dirt on her face. She didn't look rugged. Like she's an archaeologist and didn't look like one. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't dirty. She didn't dust her hands off. She just was. They kept her as eye candy, and it was the wrong type of eye candy. When a woman gets dirty, that's some eye candy. I'm keeping it 100. Damn, nigga, she was sweaty, bro. She look good. You know what I mean? But they dropped the ball on that. D+ for me. Just a little tweak of what I would have did. This movie, I would have based it more on, since I was really excited for her being a woman mummy, because you can go far with that one, more far than a love interest. Like, you know, the Brendan Fraser one, he was in love with the chosen one to be the Pharaoh's wife or whatever, and the priest, he wanted to be with her and they wanted to be with each other. He touched her and they were gonna kill her and all that stuff, and he wanted to save her and live forever with her and all that stuff. That's cool, but this one could have been better because she was the princess, you know what I'm saying? And she was replaced by the prince, who was a newly born child. So I could see the aggression right there, but I would have loved it if it was vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If the Pharaoh had chose the princess and said, I want you to be the prince because your brother is not of worthiness of the throne. He is a madman. He's crazy. He's evil. You see what I'm saying? And he kills his sister, or he gets his sister framed. You know what I'm saying? Or you could do something like they're twins and the brother's evil and the sister's not, but because the brother does so much evil, she is casted to watch over his grave forever. So if they raise him as the mummy, she has to come back to put him back in the grave. Then you would be able to get attached to her, because it was like she never got to live her life out. She was so beautiful and kind and sweet to the world, and they loved her. But because her brother was so evil and dark and twisted, she had to keep him confined. And then it would make sense why she's helping the team. Oh my gosh, I'm too good at this. Y'all need to hire your boy J3. You need to hire me. I can write some stories. This don't make no sense. That would have been great. That would have been great character development for her. Should have been able, you better read into her a little bit better. I would have loved it. I would have loved it. And then you could even did anyway, but because I want to ruin the movie for you. But I would have did something like that. You know what I mean? That way it gave us the horror, the thriller of the mummy, but it also gave us another twist of it because she's out to get him back to where he needs to be. It would have worked. It would have worked. Tight. I'm dope. But hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you guys enjoyed my little side ideas. That's what I do on J3 Entertainment, guys. I give you guys ideas. If you guys have ideas on how to make this film better, write in the comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter, man. We have to, I'll be honest with you guys, it's a lot of good storyboard tellers out there, man. Y'all some good storytellers, and our voices need to be heard because we're seeing too many people getting paid to do sloppy jobs. I'm tired of going to the movie. I spend my money every week and it's not adding up. I'm going to start theater hopping soon because this is bullshit. I'm spending my hard-earned money. I go to work every day, 40 hours a week, and I'm not getting paid enough to be going to watch these movies, and they're not satisfying. I'm tired. I'm pissed about that. That it ain't cool. But if you like the content, go ahead and thumbs this video up. Take a look at my other archive of my other episodes. Also, subscribe to J3 Entertainment. This is where we keep it 100% at all time. The real and the real deal, and that's for real. Also, shout out to my Patreon family for donating money to J3 Entertainment to help this channel get better at everything that we do, helping us pay for lights and everything like that. I truly appreciate it, guys. Y'all make me feel good every time I see a pledge. It's like, wow, you guys really care, and thank you for that. Also, I have a Team J3 fan box. If you guys want to take advantage of that, you go ahead and write a letter, whatever you want me to read something out to you guys or answer a question for you, I will do that. The fan box is there in the comments down below or the description down below. And yeah, J3 out.